Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Fantasy Four. This is going to be a show where we hopefully bring you all the up-to-date information and really some different insight as to who to start in your fantasy leagues, who to sit during certain weeks, who you should target during, trade talks, who to pick up in the waiver, and how much to allot out of your fab budget. All that good stuff that goes into putting together a championship roster in your fantasy football league. All of that with some insight and some predictions as well on the lines in Vegas, the over-unders, the spreads, who's going to win it all, make some moolah on the side. Fantasy football is a long game. It's a long investment. The fruits of your labor you get to enjoy at the end of the season. But when it comes to betting, you get it right. You get the gravy right away. My name is Muhammad Abdullah, one of your co-hosts, and hopefully we'll bring you some super insightful information to help you get an edge on your buddies in your fantasy league, and get you some moolah in your pocket.
Solid intro. That was better than the first time.
Thank you very much.
All right, my name's Ryan Stens. You can follow me on Twitter. Like I said before, we had a really good intro the first time around, and I kind of used up all my jokes and wit for the day. So I'm just going to pass it to Ethan.
All right. Thanks, Stens. You could connect with me on LinkedIn, Ethan-Levy on that one. If you want some personal, professional connections on that. Hopefully win you some money, probably win more money, fading me. But, it is what it is. We go to work every day for it. So
do we want our employers to see this? That's the question.
I think so. It shows entrepreneurship skills, I think, and money.
Name one time you have overcome adversity. Let me tell you about what happened after David Montgomery went down week 4.
We're going 0-8 in a weekend, so no.
Well, I'm Ryan as well. It's about all I'm going to speak on myself.
Ryan, a.k.a. Big Zebo, a.k.a. Zebosaurus Rex. Welcome to the Zebo Zone. Never going to stop. But I think that, outside of the intros, I think we could just hop right into it. I don't see why not.
Yeah, speaking of the Zebo Zone in an abyss of sorts where the first podcast went, I'm going to redo the first preview that we went into before we realized we don't have an unlimited Zoom. So take 2. We got the Rams and the Seahawks tomorrow night. It's going to be in CenturyLink Field, 57 degrees. It's not going to be raining. It's the first time in prime time that the 12th man will be in attendance. Personally, I like the Seahawks here. I'm liking them plus 2.5. And just a general overview of the game, the over-under is currently set at 54.5. Like I said, the spread's minus 2.5 in favor of the Rams. I don't have a whole lot of reasoning here, but I just like the Seahawks. I like taking the points with them at home. I feel like the home field advantage is going to come into play here. And even though I think the Rams is like a textbook bounce back spot for the Rams, but whatever, I'm taking the Seahawks. I don't love this game personally, but I'm taking them.
I'm going to go the opposite here. I like the Rams. I like them to win by a field goal or more. Easy money. I think a couple things. Seattle's defense, dead last in the league. You could look at last week's game against the Cardinals for the Rams. They didn't do that well. Arizona has silently been the third best team against the pass this year. It was an off game for really everybody on the Rams. They didn't look good. They looked bad almost immediately. I think from even the very start of that game, you could tell they weren't going to win it. Probably a little bit of that has to do with the fact that they came off such a huge win the week before at the Buccaneers. I think it's a bounce back performance. I think the Rams win by more than a field goal. Seattle hasn't done anything impressive. Realistically, outside of Russell Wilson, who has been statistically the best quarterback in the league by QBR, I think, through 4 games. They just haven't looked exciting. Their defense is not good. I don't think they get it done. I like Bobby Trees. This is one of my fantasy picks. I like Bobby Trees. I am a biased Robert Woods owner, so do with that what you will. But I think he bounces back. this week. I think he has a good game. And I think this sort of starts his trajectory upwards to what we thought he was, as opposed to what he is currently. Obviously, everyone on the Seahawks are firing up. One thing to monitor is Chris Carson, that nagging neck injury. Zebo is our resident Chris Carson owner. He's not concerned. He says it's business as usual. But I like Alex Collins in DFS for tomorrow. I'll leave it at that.
Is that it for your spiel, Mo?
That's it. I'm not going to go
right.
one way or another on the over under. I like
right.
the Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from the spread. I'm gonna go to the total. I'm gonna go with the over. You could say that the offenses won't be sleepless in Seattle. Got him. But I think, oh brother, get this guy off the stage.
This guy stinks.
But I think both offenses are just too dominant. You could see last week, Deebo Samuel almost killed me last week, Zeeb. Seattle's defense is absolute trash. I think Stafford bounces back big. I think McVay wants to show up after that porous performance last week. I think he lights it up. I think Stafford goes off. Russell Wilson always goes off. I think it's going to be high scoring. Big Thursday night game. All Thursday night games this year have been phenomenal. I think we're in for another one.
Well, I was originally, when this started, I was on the Rams, and I looked and realized that 92% of the money is on the Rams, and that any chance you can fade the public when it's over 90%, and including Mo in that portion, that's a solid bet.
Mystic Mo will not miss on this one. No way.
That's one of the higher money percentages I've seen on this season. So definitely fading the public there and siding with Stens for the Seahawks plus 2.5.
And to that, since I'm on the Seahawks, I think if the Seahawks are going to win, this is going to be a game that they're going to have to control the pace of the game. They're going to have to run the ball. They don't have the weapons to get into a shootout with the Rams. So for a prop bet I like here, I like the under 34.5 pass completions for Russell Wilson.
Let me ask you a question. Does that change if Chris Carson is not playing tomorrow?
I mean, it might, but this is just where it's at right now.
Okay.
It might potentially go up even higher, but I feel like 34.5 is a pretty big number as it is.
No, I feel like would you change if the line stayed at 34, would you still be comfortable?
It depends what it goes to, but I'll take the under.
It doesn't matter. I won't change anything.
Okay. All right.
Good stuff, fellas. All right. So that's our Thursday night game.
I'm excited for that one.
Hopefully everybody's out and about. Having a drink.
It's going to be such a good game.
All right. So for the next game I'm picking, I know personally for me, I'll probably be coming off of a Thursday, Friday, Saturday bender. And what better way to keep the drinking going than cracking a beer at 9 a.m. and watching my favorite team, the Jets, in London.
London town.
In London. They're playing at Tottenham. Shout out to Reed, the resident hot Spurs fan.
If they're playing at Tottenham Stadium, one thing is for certain: it is going to be a stinker of a game. You do not.
Yeah. Don't with the stadium. Maybe that will influence some of the picks coming up. So it says it's gonna be 65 degrees. I'm assuming it's not a dome. Mo, you're the soccer guy here. Is it a dome? Is it open? Do we know this?
Don't think it's a dome. I don't think they do that in England. England is another world.
A no dome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no head. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think so. I think they believe in open atmosphere.
All right. So spread is +3. Falcons are favored by 3. The over under is set at 46. Bias kicking in. I thought the Jets played really good last week. And I am all over the Jets here. I love the Jets here. I have multiple prop bets I like here. One of them being the Zach Wilson over on pass completions. Let me just scroll down my notes real quick. So he's coming off his best game of the season. The Falcons defense have yielded monster games to 3 of the 4 opposing quarterbacks they face this year. The average is around 270 yards and almost 3 touchdowns just for the quarterbacks. And the only dud game in there was Danny Dimes.
Danny freaking Dimes.
He's been playing great this year, so I don't nothing against Daniel Jones, but
he won Offensive Player of the Week last week. Just so
that's what I'm saying. No, I'm giving him his props. But that's
all right.
It's just a little weird that he had a dud game against them. Maybe just it was Eli Manning day. That might get to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, to that point, Elijah Moore is looking like he's gonna be back. The Jets have a sneaky, really good receiver depth this year that I haven't really seen before. They go Keelan Cole, Jameson Crowder. They just got a bunch of pros. So I like Zach Wilson here. And then to that, I also really like the Jets defense as a sneaky play this week. If they're on the waiver wire in fantasy, I would say pick them up. Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, have coached up the youngest defensive unit in the NFL to be one of the best units in the leagues. They're tied for 3rd in sacks. They're coming off a 7-sack game, and Matt Ryan has been hit 20 times, which is 3rd in the NFL, and they've been blitzed on 45 plays, which is 5th in the NFL. I feel like Atlanta's offense doesn't really have an identity. I'm a Kyle Pitts owner, and they really haven't gotten him involved yet. They struggle to push the ball down the field. They're 26 in yards per play, only 4.9 yards, and they average more than a turnover per game. And the Jets have a lot of just dudes on that defense. Bryce Hall, Quinn Williams, his brother Quincy. Shout out to Mohammed's brother who sold Quinn Williams a PS5 one time. And just the D line of Rankings and Huff and John Myers, they're wrecking havoc. So that's probably the longest spiel I'll give just because of my Jets bias kicking in, but I love the Jets here.
I initially had Jets plus 3.5 here. I'm going to change it.
On the fly.
I do agree with Stens on many of those points. One of them being that the Jets do have a sneaky good defense. I do like all of the Jets. Well, I'm not going to say all the Jets wideouts. I like Jamison Crowder here a lot. I think it's a good spot for Jamison Crowder, and I think it's a good spot for Corey Davis. That being said, I also think it is going to be the bounce back performance of the year for Calvin Ridley. I think he goes over 100 yards.
I hope so.
I think he goes over 100 yards in this one. I think he snags a touchdown. I think he'll be a top 10 wide receiver on the week. That's just Mystic Mo speaking. And as a sneaky play, Cordero Patterson has gotten all the attention, but Mike Davis has been getting touches in that Atlanta backfield. The Jets, very good against the pass, but I think that the Falcons will come out and try to establish the run at least a little bit. And I think Mike Davis has a game, and I also like the over here. I think that both teams will find a way to put up points. The Falcons just have a horrendous defense, and Zach Wilson looked the part last week. And then, at some point, the Falcons are also going to have to just throw the ball, whether it's to, believe it or not, keep up with the Jets, or just to force the issue. But I like the Falcons money line here. I would be comfortable taking Falcons money line, and I like the over 43.5.
I'm going against you, Mo. I like the under here. I think the Jets defense in particular is very good, and I just don't think the offenses are going to be able to score. And I have no stats to back this up, but I feel like all these London games are usually like trash games because the teams are trash that are playing over there. So I just don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring here. I mean, as someone who has Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley, I might hope so, but I don't know about Matt Ryan's arm, but he was throwing up ducks on Sunday. I don't think he could reach the end zone like the 40-yard Hail Mary at the end of the game. It was pretty sad to watch.
Nothing against Taylor Heineke, but he got fucking outplayed by Taylor Heineke.
Oh, he did. I don't know what they're going to do when Fitzpatrick comes back.
No, Taylor Heineke's got to be the guy at this point. He's played really well. He's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of heart.
Guy.
He's got to be the guy. I mean, he's up and down like a roller coaster every week. I mean, but you got to hand it to him.
Kind of
Kid's
like
got moxie.
Fitz would be.
Yeah.
But you also have to
he's
hand
got
it to
moxie, yeah.
Heineke. He's, I mean, in a
Yeah.
couple of those weeks, he's come down. Like the football team has won several games because of Taylor Heineke. Like he marched down the field against
Oh, yeah.
Falcons last week. Like he's
Giants?
put
He beat the Giants on himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
So he's
and he
put
almost-
in a
he
couple of
almost beat the
stud
Bucks
performances.
in that
Absolutely.
wild card game
He did.
last year.
Heineke
So-
And
might
you
be
remember
the
what happened
truth.
during that Bucks game? Fucking, I don't know much about Chase Young, but the fact that Chase Young was like, "That's my
Yeah.
guy," and he was like pumping his jersey, that says a lot about how he won over that locker room. So
Oh, for sure. I mean, maybe Chase Young should. Maybe Heineke's got to start pointing at Chase Young because they have like the 30th ranked defense this year. Their defense stinks, but that's a different game. But yeah, I mean Heineke's got moxie, but I think in the Jets Falcons game, I'm going under. I don't like the under. It's life's too short to bet the under, but I'm going that way.
Well, never thought I'd say these words, but don't overthink it when it comes to the Jets and go for the Jets spread because the Falcons stink. I've also been one of the biggest Mormon Mahomes supporters I know.
I could attest.
And he's just shown up, and he's definitely worthy of the number 2 pick. The money percentage is in their favor. And Matt Ryan stinks. When your best skill player is Cordell Patterson, there's an issue. So just don't overthink it. Jets +3 is pretty easy.
And like, while we're on the Zach Wilson juice, like I think him and Mac Jones play a different sport because Mac Jones doesn't have the ability to throw the ball more than 10 to 15 yards. And Zach Wilson is going to be spreading the fuck out of this ball and throwing it fucking deep. And these Europeans are going to have no idea what they're watching. It's going to be electric. There might be multiple picks, but there's going to be touchdowns sprinkled in there. So
That one throw of rolling out of the pocket to Corey Davis.
where he pointed downfield. I mean, that was probably the best
Oh.
throw I've ever seen from a Jets quarterback.
That's just like elementary school recess. Send your guy deep, throw it up there.
That was just absurd talent.
We'll
And that's
see.
how-
I'm not a Jets truther yet. We'll see. They beat up the Titans.
We'll see. All right, moving on here. So we spent a lot of time on the Jets, which I like, but we'll move on here. Speaking of Mac Jones, a really shitty game here. The Patriots are at the Houston Texans. They're at Energy Stadium. This is a 1:00 tip. This opened up at -6 Pats, and it's ballooned up to -9. And I have a feeling it's going to probably go up even higher than this. The over/under is at 39.5.
Ugh.
I mean, I for the sake of giving a pick, I'll give a pick, and I'll just take Houston in the points. I hate it, but this is an ugly game. I feel like this is a bounce back spot for at least the running game of the Patriots. I'm a Damian Harris stan and owner. I think this is a good opportunity for him to get back on track, have over 100 rushing yards, get a TD sprinkled in there. And then I feel like historically the Pats beat up on Houston. Maybe that's just because Bill O'Brien's been there for a long time, and I just have that stigma in my head. But
I'd say legend Bill O'Brien
and former Bill Belichick understudy. Yep. And I don't know. I still think the Texans have his stink on there. So, I mean, it's going against my own reasoning, but I'll take Houston. But the Pats are going to win, but I'll take the points.
Yeah.
Damian Harris, let me just start off by saying, is my start of the week at the running back position. I think the Patriots will have opportunities to score. I think Damian Harris will take those opportunities because the Texans are doo-doo. I think that he'll easily get anywhere between 12 to 15 touches. I think that at least 2 or 3 of them will be goal line touches. I think he has the potential to be a top 15 running back this week. If I wanted to sprinkle in a little bit more audacity, I would say a top 10. That being said, I like New England anywhere up until -9.5. The Houston Texans are horrendous.
They are.
The Patriots defense is solid.
I was at the bar last week, and then I was, just watching the bottom ticker, and I couldn't believe Mills' stats at the third quarter. He had one completion for 3 yards.
Yeah, no, it was
like
crazy.
Nathan Peterman out there.
Oh,
it was horrendous, and when we were actually because this is the inaugural episode. Last week we did a sort of like a test episode just to see how it would flow and make some tweaks. And I looked at the line between the Bills and the Texans, and I said, minus, what was it? Minus,
It was like 18 and a half or
yeah,
something.
minus
like that.
18 and a half for the
Wasn't
for
enough.
the Bills. I was like, what?
Covered with ease.
I was like, that's such a large line. There's no way.
Maserati Mitch got some burn.
Yeah.
You let him out of the garage.
You got a garbage time touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
I went in front of my friends and I said, there's no way they beat him by 18. And fuck Mitchell Trubisky was in the game at the end.
Oh,
I am not going to bet the Texans to cover at any point this season. It doesn't matter if the favorite is minus 50. Patriots minus 9.5. You know what? Patriots minus 10. I'm not going to go anywhere on the over-under. Fire up your Damian Harris. Start of the week.
There.
That's what I got.
yeah. I think Nick Cassera is going to have to give one hell of a sermon pregame to get the Texans up for this game. I think the Patriots are going to blow them out. I think they got a lot of confidence. I know they didn't win last week against Tampa, but I think, New England faithful are fully bought into Mac Jones after that game. I think they're going to ride that momentum. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I don't know if I'd go up to like 10 and a half, but if you can get it below 9, I think that's the play.
I absolutely do not have a pick for Throw God versus McCormick, but they cut Anthony Miller for absolutely no fucking reason. And
He got cut?
He got cut.
Yeah, he got cut today.
Wow.
Now, I've been an Anthony Miller stand since he came out of Memphis. So that really pissed me off because they have like fucking Nico Collins as a wide receiver too. That guy's ass.
Did they cut like Kiki Kuti too? In like
Yeah, they did in the offseason.
offseason?
Fucking front office is a loss.
They're the poster child of how to effectively run an NFL organization.
Yeah.
Deshaun, I'm talking to you.
I mean, they have a pastor running the organization. What do you expect?
Casario, baby. Pat's
Maybe a little
Pat's
bit more
legend.
fortune. A little bit more good fortune.
So I
you,
don't
you would think.
I don't have a pick here, but
Probably the right play.
I'm just gonna be mad for a while that Anthony Miller was cut.
So Zeeb's play
All right.
is angry letters to the Houston
Yes.
Texans for cutting his boy.
Bold
Also, I think if
underlines, don't
you're in a
cut.
deep league looking for a good flex play, I think Kendrick Bourne fits the MO.
If you were going to name
consistency.
any of the Texans running backs, I was going to get up and leave.
Oh no!
Oh, thank
no,
God you did.
You are not starting anybody on the Texans
Rex
ever
Burkhead.
unless Tyrod.
Ooh, revenge game?
Perhaps Tyrod comes back. When Tyrod comes back, I do like him as a
Rex for revenge.
quarterback.
I love
But,
revenge.
I don't even know the running back. Like, I don't know like how they ship those guys. Like Ingram, Lindsey, Burkhead, David
It's too
Johnson.
it's
like,
too gross to look at the,
Easy,
the
they don't.
percentages.
I
there.
never look at the box score of those
He
games
got like
because I just don't give a
26
shit.
carries the first week. That was ridiculous.
Team is awful.
Yeah, we've spent way
Yeah,
too much
worse
time
today.
talking
I
about
agree. Can
the
we? We're,
Houston
I'm gonna
Texans.
move us along here.
All right,
enough
all right,
on
good.
that.
Houston. Blech.
All right.
Glorified expansion team.
So speaking of the Patriots, coming off of a very emotional game and a very emotional win, we got the Buccaneers back at home, taking on the Miami Dolphins. We got a beautiful day in Tampa. It's gonna be 85
bet.
degrees and sunny. Classic. Right now, the line is Buccaneers minus 10, over under at 48. I love the Bucks. I love the Bucks here. I don't even care what it's at. I'm going to take the Bucks no matter what. The New England game's behind Brady, so I think this is when the offense is just going to shred them. I think this is going to be one of those early season games we saw from the Bucks, like Week 1 against the Falcons, where Brady's going to have like four passing touchdowns. The defense might have a pick six in there because, the Dolphins looked awful last week, and I don't trust Jacoby Brissett. And yeah, the Finns, they suck, and they made the wrong pick with Tua. I mean, as a Jet fan, I love that they took Tua instead of Herbert, because if I had Herbert and Josh Allen in the same division, oof.
No respect.
Yeah.
for Mahomes, though.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll take the Bucks no matter what it is.
Throughout the week, I've been going back and forth on it. I still don't have a pick in. I think for this one, I'm going to stay away from the spread. I do like the under. Up until under, I like under 48. I wouldn't go any lower than that. It's a divisional game. No, it's not.
It is not.
Never mind. I'm still in Brady in.
They're in the same state.
Yeah,
if you're
they
trying to
are
say
in the
that.
same state.
The Sunshine State.
Blow it all up. Tampa Bay minus 10.5. I'm not going anywhere on the over/under. I don't see how they don't crush him. I mean, Jacoby Beef Brisket, Myles Gaskin, who has fallen off the face of the earth. They just lost Will Fuller. Now, granted, Will Fuller hadn't really been doing much.
They traded Jakeem Grant for some reason.
Yeah, they did trade away Jakeem Grant to the
Bears.
To the Bears. Yeah, so big Khalil Herbert.
Different game.
Wink, wink. Different game. We'll get to that later. But yeah, nothing further to say here. Bucks minus 10.5. The Dolphins stink. The Dolphins are awful. There's just no conceivable way they stay within 10 points of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's just no way. That's all I got for that.
I agree with my two former colleagues who just went. I'm going Bucks. I mean, nobody knows the Dolphins better than Brady, so I think he's gonna gash them. I think if they blow them out and the Dolphins lose another stinker like they did the last few weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear some chatter about Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins, more so than there already is. I mean, I don't think Stephen Ross is gonna lose 3 or 4 in a row by this margin and let that fly. So I think Bucks blow them out big time, increase Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins chatter after this one.
I don't get this Tua slander from you two when he hasn't played since week 1. That was their best game of the year. It's seemingly unwarranted. But I also I don't play on the spread. I don't know why Mo brought up Will Fuller being gone. He passed I don't even think he caught a ball this year. Without PEDs, he can't stay healthy. Jalen Waddle's going to catch 14 passes for 14 yards. So
that safety though, a couple weeks ago has to be the worst play in NFL history.
That was a play call. That's all I can say on that. And it was honestly also Jalen Waddle's fault, kind of.
I don't understand how that's even an NFL head coach does that. I'm sitting on my couch eating Cheetos, and I was just like, wow, that shit sucked.
I do love Brian Flores though.
I love Brian Flores, but I'm gonna.
He's a good coach.
I'm gonna take the under because. Yeah.
And I only slander Tua because I hate the Dolphins and I hate Bama.
That's fair. I'm not a fan of Bama. I think Tua has a future as a game manager, but I think
it's going to be a little bit better than that. I give Tua some credit.
Well, like you asked me, Tua versus McCormick Jones, I'm going with Tua. But
I have a feeling Tua might end up like Josh Rosen. To be honest with you,
no,
he gets drafted, and then immediately the next year. I mean, they drafted Kyler Murray the year after, and Josh Rosen's bounced around the league since. I mean, I like Tua, but with the injuries, and I can't imagine Deshaun Watson doesn't end up on this team. I think he's going to leave.
Oh no,
innocent until proven guilty, but I don't know about Tua. There's not enough juice, not enough oomph there for me.
That's a ridiculous play. But I'm going under 48. I'm tempted to take the Dolphins because all 3 of you are on the Bucks.
Do it.
Courage of your convictions, Zebo.
No conviction to be courageous of.
Okay.
All right.
48.
While we're on the topic of Alabama quarterbacks, the next game, we call this a segue, folks. We got Jalen Hurts and the Eagles at Carolina. What's that?
3 Bama quarterbacks in a row.
Oh yeah.
2018 Alabama.
It's gonna be a beautiful day in Charlotte. 73 degrees, a little bit of wind. Wish I lived there, honestly. Great state, North Carolina. The spread is Panthers are favored by 3.5. In some places, it's -4 in favor of the Panthers. The over/under is at 45. I mean, I talked about this in the test run show last week. I'm a bona fide Sam Darnold hater. I think this is too many points for Carolina. 2 of the 3 wins came against the Jets, who, even though I was high on at the beginning of this episode, they stunk during that game. and they also played Houston. And also I was down on the Eagles offense last week, but I mean, they're keeping up with the Chiefs for a little bit there. They have a pretty dynamic offense. So I'll take the Eagles here. Mo, thoughts?
For every Sam Darnold hater, there is a Sam Darnold truther. And Mystic Mo is your resident Sam Darnold truther. At the beginning of the season, I bet our very own Zebasaurus Rex that Sam Darnold would finish as a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year. Ooh, Zebra, you getting nervous yet? Because let me tell you, Sam Darnold looks good. He looks the part. He has his weapons. Robbie Anderson hasn't even been that involved as of late or really throughout the season. I think that changes. They paid him a ton of money. I get it, right? Zeeb's shaking his head, probably not. Robbie Anderson is a good wide receiver, and I don't think that they go on much longer not looking and not taking as many deep shots as they have to him in the or has he, how he was used at the Jets, and then not so much last year because Big McCaffrey was out. So I love Sam Darnold. I think that
It's a hell of a way to get there.
I love Sam Darnold. Let me tell you, top 10 fantasy quarterback this year.
He's got 5 rushing touchdowns. That
He
shit
leads
is
the
not
NFL
gonna
in
keep
rushing
going.
touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
He's like the fast version of Cam Newton. It's crazy. That's a joke, by the way. This is a joke. It's all jokes. All jokes.
I saw some people on Twitter saying he's the best quarterback in franchise history, which is one of the most disrespectful things I've
egregious.
ever seen.
Jake
Egregious.
Delhomme got them to a Super Bowl, as did Cam Newton.
Yeah. I mean, that Cam Newton slander is not tolerated by me, Mystic Mo here. But I like Carolina.
What's your pick?
Carolina.
Okay.
I think that last week they got beat up pretty bad, but I think that's more so a testament to how good Dallas is as opposed to the Panthers defense. Again, we don't really have an idea as to how great they are because it could have just been an off game against a good offense.
They're actually playing legit teams now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I trust them to win here, and I'm comfortable taking Carolina -4.
I am conflicted heavily in this game. As a Giant fan living in Philly, I love to watch the Eagles lose and the city burn. But as a Penn Stater rooting for Sam Darnold to rip my heart out in the Rose Bowl game, it's tough to side with that. But I just think, especially in Carolina, and especially if McCaffrey plays, which it looks like he might. I think he was out of practice today. I think Carolina's going to win. I think Carolina's defense will be able to not like completely shut down Jalen Hurts in the running game there, but I think they'll slow him down enough. And I think they'll be able to slow him down enough to cover that 4 points. And I think if it gets any higher, maybe go on the Eagles, but at 4, 3.5 even, I think Carolina wins this game. I think they could cover.
I don't have official play on the spread or the total, but I will say that Jalen Hurts is a stud and Devonta Smith is a stud. I'm grateful for both of them. I'm grateful for Mo for randomly dropping Devonta Smith for absolutely no reason to begin the season.
I dropped him for Tyson Williams.
Then you spend $100 on him as well.
Yeah. The mistakes.
I also dropped a big load of fab on Dallas Goedert, which I don't know why.
Out of nowhere.
And I didn't need to spend that much, but I wanted to make sure I got him. And
anything's better than our league mate spending 50% on Jamison Crowder.
yeah, that was crazy.
Well, I saw, wasn't it Blake who dropped him on Sunday morning?
Yeah.
I think. And I looked at him like, why is he there? And I didn't pick him up, thankfully, because Jared Cook then cooked
Goddard
on
is
Monday
a
night.
tight end 1, and he's going to finish as a top 10 tight end.
First of all, when me and Sen's got a bidding war over Jalen Hurts at the draft, every other person in the room looked at us like we were crazy. And me and Sen did not understand why that was, because it was obvious he was a locked-in top 10 quarterback. Mo was the biggest.
Seen it.
Biggest.
Well, how much did Jalen go for?
25 I got him for.
Yeah, it was more so my skepticism to spending big on quarterbacks, which I will admit first year playing a 2-quarterback league. I got lucky. Didn't have to spend much on Matthew Stafford. Waited towards the end of the draft. He was at the end of the auction draft, but yeah, no. In retrospect, $25 for Jalen Hurts is a steal.
Oh yeah, it's a steal. Yeah,
Steal.
So that's the Eagles. Devon Smith is a stud too. Last week you guys said Rob Anderson's got a bounce back game, and I had no fucking idea why. Brandon Zylstra, who I think went to Concordia College, had more fantasy points on the season than him. I think. I remember him catching a touchdown too.
He had a big grab last week too.
Yeah, Brandon Zylstra is not a stud, but he might be better than Robbie Anderson. Also, to Ethan's point, McCaffrey practiced in full pads today.
Oh, okay.
Analysis.
Probably.
Smashing Carolina -4.
So I don't have a play here, but just wanted to go through.
Should be a fun game.
What are we making of Miles Sanders, fellas? Because
Kenneth Gainwell is literally a better running back than him.
They got to feed Miles. I don't understand. They gave him 2 carries 2 weeks ago. What is that about?
Kenneth Gainwell is actually more talented than him if you watch. And I usually am I might be the biggest defender of the running backs. Don't matter, and I'll never forgive David Gettleman. But out of the bag, catching the ball in the backfield, at least Kenneth Gainwell is significantly better than Miles Sanders.
So where do you
Miles
see
Sanders sucks at catching the football. I put up with that last year. He sucks at it.
I mean, Miles Sanders is never going to see a third down. So Jalen Hurts is a huge vulture, whether it's touchdowns or just carries in general. So I don't see Miles Sanders ever being a top 20.
I like Miles Sanders as a football player, not as a fantasy player.
He's going to struggle to be a top 20 running back.
So what do you do?
I thought he was a better running back.
Try to move him.
You can't move him now.
You got to wait. You got to wait till he does something, and I don't think he does something against the Carolina Panthers. I think
you can't drop a running back in how the running back landscape is right now.
Oh yeah, you can't drop Miles Sanders.
Well,
it's barren.
So it's where CH was a few weeks ago. Pretty much where Miles Sanders is, except I don't really see his situation better.
But and the thing with CH too is, I mean, the Philly's offense looks good, but the Chiefs' offense is
exactly that's why. And Patrick,
best in the league. Rest of season, I think I'd rather Zach Moss than Miles Sanders.
I think I'd rather Kenneth Gainwell over Miles Sanders.
Ooh,
wow! Rest of season.
Yeah.
That's a hot take. We'll see how that ages.
I got 2 carries.
All right, next game here, we got the Detroit Lions, yuck, at the Minnesota Vikings. Spread right now is -9 Vikings. The over-under is at 49.5. I mean, tough time to be a Lions fan, first of all. Jesus Christ. I'm going to take the Vikings here. Zimmer is 32-15. That is 68% against a spread off a loss. And that's including 4-0 against the spread when he's a favor of more than 7 points. Minnesota is in top 10 in the league in pressure rate. And Jared Goff has a 56 QB rating when he's under pressure. And to make matters even worse, Detroit just put their best offensive lineman, Ragnow, on the is it the IL? It is the IL, right?
That's baseball. IR.
Okay. I was looking at the score of the baseball game. Well, thanks for the clarification. So I'd bet this up to 10. Give me the Vikings.
I would like to take this time to formally apologize because last week I put out the very first inaugural article on our website, thefantasy4.com. I had the Lions -7 as Mystic Mo's. Improbable, but not horrible. Let me tell you, it was horrendous. That being said, I like the Lions here. I would take the Lions +8.5. Okay. I think that the Vikings do not have a good defense. I think last week was an anomaly in that game against the Browns. The whole thing just was weird to me. The game itself was just moving and it almost felt like it was moving in slow motion. I don't know what it was. But Minnesota Vikings defense is not good. And I think that the Lions, for being 0-4, are, again, not that awful. Like, they're not Houston Texans, right? They're not, who else? They're not the Dolphins. I think they're better than the Dolphins, right? That would be, that's my opinion. I think DeAndre Swift, he stunk last week. I think he has a bounce back performance this week. And I like everyone on the Vikings side of the ball. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I like over 49 points personally. Not enough to officially bet it, but if I was going to go a certain way, as time comes closer for the game, as kickoff approaches, maybe. But I like Lions at plus 8.5 here.
I think I'm going to go Minnesota here. I think if the line creeps up to double digits, I might change it. But if it stays around 7-8 points, I would take the Vikings. I think they're due for a bounce back after the atrociousness that was their offense last week against a porous Detroit secondary. I think Thielen and Jefferson are going to have field days out there. I remember last week when we were talking about Detroit, Chicago, coming off that 66-yard field goal, everybody was on Detroit against Chicago, but I think we were fooled. Detroit tricked us. I think they're just a bad team. I think Minnesota could blow them out here. Give me Minnesota.
Detroit didn't trick you. Justin Fields is just a future Hoffer.
True.
You need to recognize that.
With 0 touchdowns in the pick in that game.
I think he had 7 fantasy points.
He's a future Hoffer. I'm going to move on from that, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jared Goff stinks. DeAndre Swift is a murderer.
True. People forget that.
Allegedly.
Horsecock Hawk, I do love, though. Nice.
He mispracticed.
It's a vet's day off. It's Wednesday.
We'll see how that progresses. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Who do you like?
Wasn't even what?
Who do you like?
Hawkinson.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Horsecock Hawk. But no, he didn't even have an injury designation. It was just like a vet rest day.
Really? I saw something. I saw specifically that I saw a report that said his knee was bothering him.
No, he's fine.
I don't know. Maybe that's just the designation that they put, like
I
Fugazi.
didn't name the receiving like Quintus Cephas. I saw Khalif Raymond out there. All this being said, I'm also not taking the Vikings because that's a lot of points. But I'm taking the under due to all those Lions reasons, mostly because DeAndre Swift is a murder.
Solid. Just for a DFS dart / guy I like, Tyler Conklin, tight end, fire him up. Detroit's secondary has the worst coverage rating according to PFF, and they have allowed double-digit points to tight ends in 3 out of their 4 games. So
Jeff Okudah also tore his labia or something's out for the year.
Well, Jeff Okudah's garbage.
Whoa.
Well, Ethan, is this accurate? It says here that you have Jared Goff.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
He's your starter
why
of the week
not?
at the quarterback position.
Blake Bortles. It's the most Blake Bortles
Why not?
player I've seen since Blake Bortles.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a shootout.
I agree.
speaking of shootouts, we got the Titans and Jags this week, boys.
Oh, let's go. Fire it up.
I can't wait to hear this.
The spread is -4 in favor of the Titans. They're in Jacksonville. All Florida's nice. It's going to be 79 degrees. The over-under's at 40.5. I'm going to keep this one brief. Give me the Titans, and my only reasoning is Urban Meyer. I don't even want to go into the specifics, but if you have been living under a rock and you haven't seen what's been going on this week, it is a circus. I'm taking the Titans.
Alternate angle.
Oh, you already know there's an alternate angle coming. Me and Stens are not seeing eye to eye this week. The Tennessee Titans just lost to the New York Jets. Now, I get it. Zach Wilson looks like he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. But you look at Zach Wilson's 2 previous performances, you could argue whether or not they're his fault or not. The Jets stunk, right? They come out, they beat the Titans. The Titans are shorthanded. Is Julio practicing?
AJ
I think they
Brown's
were
gonna play.
limited. Yeah.
So Julio has a good chance to play, but not AJ Brown.
No, AJ.
No,
was
AJ Brown
play.
is going to play. I don't know about Julio.
Yeah.
Oh, AJ Brown is going to play. Okay, so he was week to week.
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't change it for me. My pick is Jacksonville here. I like Jacksonville to win this game, or not to win this game, to at least come within a field goal. Trevor Lawrence is my quarterback start of the week. They just lost DJ Chark. Unfortunate. But I do like Laviska Shenault here in this spot. I think that he picks up a lot of those targets. He did look very solid towards the end of the last game. I think he picks up a touchdown and let's just say 60, 70 yards. But I also like Marvin Jones Jr. I like Jacksonville here, and I like Trevor Lawrence to perform well. He's going to be my quarterback start of the week at that position. And I'm confident in Jacksonville +4.
Real quick before you get in here, E, to jump into what Mo was saying, I do like Marvin Jones a lot. He's my sleeper of the week. I'm loving all the props on him. Anytime TD, the over 4.5 receptions, and the reasoning behind this. It's a big bounce back opportunity. The Titans secondary got shredded by the Jets last week. No secondary in the NFL has allowed more scores or yards per game to opposing receivers. I think last week was an anomaly. Marvin Jones had a down game. And prior to that, he averaged 9 targets per game. And that's only going to go up with Chark out. And also, he's going to be matched up against Janoris Jenkins. And last time
Jackrabbit, baby.
Jackrabbit is over the hill, man.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he got eaten alive by Corey Davis last week. That beautiful throw we're talking about, Zach Wilson had, Janoris Jenkins was on that play. He allows a 70% catch rate. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones.
Yuck.
Also, if I could also just
okay.
hop back.
Go right in, Mo. Go right in.
If Damian Harris wasn't my start of the week at the running back position, James Robinson would be. I think James Robinson is going to have a stellar game. I think he's going to become more involved in the passing game. I think he has a very good week, and I'll leave it at that.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
As Skip Bayless would ask.
It's my turn.
It's my turn. To go off the eloquence that was Stensgaard's statistics, I also had Marvin Jones on that little spreadsheet that we had that was like the start of the week. I think he's gonna ball out. I think they're gonna be trailing a lot here in this game, so I think Lawrence is gonna be throwing the ball all over the yard. Hopefully, some of those go to Marvin Jones. So, but I like the Titans here. I can only imagine what practices were like this week for them with Big Mike Vrabel and the embarrassment that was losing to the New York Football Jets last week. I feel like they're gonna come back, bounce back spot. I don't know how the team responds to the Urban Meyer shenanigans, but I can't imagine it would be a good result on the field. But who knows? But I can't bet on Jacksonville here. Tennessee Titans all the way.
First of all, Urban's getting railroaded right now. Ridiculous.
The
And
con has his back.
he does. And
Scumbag.
he's just being railroaded. That's all I'll say about that. So sends his analysis out the window. I don't have an official play here. But I just wanted to have a moment to defend Urban.
You're going to defend Urban here?
That's
Scumbag.
Shelly probably encouraged it. She's an absolute fucking psychopath. I have people.
You know her personally?
I have friends whose parents actually went to high school with Shelly. She's an absolute psychopath. If you go on her Twitter and look at her likes, it further proves that she's an absolute just nut job.
Okay, well, Urban, if you're watching
what is she liking?
You have to go look.
NSFW.
But
I'm getting right wing vibes from that
she was also liking all the memes of Urban fingering that chicken apple for the record. So she was all there. She's probably.
Would you be surprised?
I kind of like that more.
I would be surprised if Urban was a cuck.
I think Shelly's a cuck too. I think it's just an open marriage, personally.
Perhaps maybe they're swingers, but I think Urban's sex life has gone too far here. In terms,
there's no way he was. Yeah.
When you say in Ohio to have a better sex life than in Florida, there's an issue. I live here. I don't know what Urban's doing, but that's all. I'll leave it at that. Also, you guys.
Sorry to any Ohioans listening. I mean,
I'm allowed to say it.
Sorry to Urban and sorry to anyone in the state of Ohio.
You guys are on Marvin. I don't know why you're ignoring Visca when he is just.
Oh, I'll give Mo. Mo did.
Yeah,
right.
I'm big.
Yeah.
Visca's is in my starting lineup this week.
Okay.
More out of necessity than anything else. But he's I'm firing him up. I'm confident.
Probably a top 5 receiver in the league, so he'll be good. I also will always have a soft spot for J-Rob. Last year,
Big James.
Also, I think that wasn't the bar that Urban Meyer was at. Wasn't it his restaurant?
His restaurant's in Columbus.
He was on the wall though, but I think it was just because of like an Ohio State thing.
Yeah.
All right, because I remember listening to Pat McAfee, and I think AJ Hawk said that was his place.
No. Urban's Pint House in Columbus. I don't think that's right.
All right. But if it was, that's a pretty baller move, though.
I would. Urban's Pint House is super nice. So he's an entrepreneur.
All right, enough urban talk.
Could go up with it.
Let's not get canceled here. All right. Next game, we got the Broncos. They're in Pittsburgh taking on the Steelers. 69 degrees in Heinz Field.
Nice.
Thank you. The spread is currently a pick 'em. Pick 'em or -1 Steelers, whatever. Over under is 39.5. Oof.
Sheesh.
I mean, I was all over the Steelers last week, thinking that Ben might show some signs of life, but I am so tired of seeing that man throw the ball 10 yards short of the sticks on a 4th and 5. Like, what are we doing here? And like, we got a lot of sideline shots of Juju, a lot of lip reading gurus on Twitter trying to figure out if he's saying like that's on Ben or that's all Ben's fault. I mean, I don't even blame Juju. Like, he's been wide open on a lot of plays, and Ben just looks fucking cooked, dude. Despite that, though, I like Pittsburgh.
Having said all that,
So I was throwing out stats about Tomlin coming off a loss, and hey, I got more stats for you. Tomlin is 56% against the spread off a loss. Big Dick Teddy is concussed. I'm not sure if he's going to play, but even if he does end up playing, he's coming off a short week of practice. Steelers, I just historically are better as a home team. It's now or never. Pittsburgh needs to win this game if they're going to do anything this season. So I'll take Pittsburgh.
And finally, we see eye to eye. Stens, I don't see how you don't pick Pittsburgh here. Drew Lock is going to be the starting quarterback for this organization come Sunday. And Drew Lock is not going to do anything against the Steelers. The Steelers, for as bad as they have been offensively, they've been pretty solid defensively. Not as good as people expected them to be, but still pretty solid. And the offense is obviously doing them no favors in how awful they've looked. Lots of quick series for the Steelers, lots of 3-and-outs. So they're on the field a lot more. I don't imagine that the Denver Broncos are going to give them too much trouble on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to, for as awful as Big Ben has been, I like him to at least do enough to beat Drew Lock. Because if he doesn't do enough to beat Drew Lock, I think it's Dwayne Haskins' season. I've been talking.
Garbage.
I did talk to Stens about this earlier this week. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now so it's on the record. Dwayne Haskins is going to be a fantasy relevant quarterback in the second half of this year. Big Ben does not have it anymore. He looks horrendous. He has all the weapons he could possibly need. Claypool, Juju, Deontay Johnson. They have Najee. I mean, anything that a quarterback could need. And he's looked this putrid. The man, at first, his boob was torn. Now it's his hip hurts. Like, Dwayne Haskins is going to end up getting a shot here. And I think with the amount of weapons that are in Pittsburgh, I think Dwayne Haskins could be a fantasy relevant quarterback in the second half. But for now, take Pittsburgh. And I think you could take him with confidence.
I am going the opposite direction. I'm going Denver, which I don't have a lot of confidence in because we saw last week what happens when they actually play a competent franchise. They got blown out. But I'm not so confident that Pittsburgh, as it currently is constructed, is a competent team. I think this could come down to like a pick six defensive score potentially to win this game for Denver because I have no faith in Drew Lock. But the lack of faith I have in Drew Lock is counterbalanced by the absolute garbage that is Big Ben Roethlisberger. I think Denver could do this. I think their defense is going to have a field day against that O-line. I think Von Miller might have 8 sacks in this game. I'll take Denver. I don't have a lot of confidence, but who knows?
You gonna make that prop bet?
What is the odds of Von Miller having 8 sacks? Give me that. Sprinkle it. Yeah, I don't know. I have no feel for this game. I think both teams are frauds. But in this situation on Sunday, just give me Denver.
I was gonna say the same exact thing Mo was gonna say about Dwayne Haskins. So kind of sad I had to go last, but I absolutely agree. I really hope Kyle Rudolph. Mason Rudolph. I really hope he doesn't win the job over Dwayne, even though I know it's the backup right now, because Dwayne is significantly more talented. But I think Dwayne will see the field by the end of the year. That said, pretty sure Drew Lock will be playing because Teddy didn't practice today, and that's not usually a good sign for a concussion. So with that, with this Ben not being able to look like he plays for fucking Alabama, throwing it 5 yards and hoping for yak. The under 40. What? 30. Oh wait,
39.5.
Never mind. I actually have the over. I was going the opposite direction. That's just so little points. I can't imagine.
That is very.
I have to take the over there.
Ugly.
Both these offenses stink. If it was like any other number, I mean, Vegas knows what they're doing. But I mean, you have to go. You see 39.
I'm sorry. I stole that Dwayne Haskins. I'll show you the text messages though.
Oh, I believe you.
I think Big Dwayne.
I also agree.
He's got it. He's got the juice, and I think Mason. The argument against Mason Rudolph is you already know what you have in Mason Rudolph. Like he started some games last year, but he didn't look that great.
You already know what you have in Dwayne Haskins.
No, you don't.
I don't know. It was pre-Ron Rivera Washington football team. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and he showed talent. He just had,
No.
But honestly, before Ron Rivera got there, right? Everyone was like, that was a poop shoot. It's a poop
shoot.
And then the year Rivera got there, he was like, he's too much of a hassle. I'm cutting his ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The off-field issues. It's not the talent.
Exactly. I can't put my faith in a bum like Dwayne Haskins.
You're just biased.
I'm not biased. I got Justin Fields on my fantasy team.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, moving on. Who do we got?
Moving on. We got the Packers at the Bengals. Fun game here. The spread is -3 in favor of the Packers. The over/under is set at 51. I mean, I bet against the Packers last week, and I feel like this is almost like as long as Aaron Rodgers is like quarterbacking the other team, this seems like a true and tied way, like kind of like Alabama in college football. Like you don't make money betting against Alabama. I feel like it's the same thing with betting against Rodgers. And I'm going to take the Bengals here because
having said all that,
fuck that logic. I'm going to keep going against myself here. I'm going to take the Bengals. It's a man in the suit pick. I'm going to take the Bengals.
If I could go back really, really quickly back to that Broncos Steelers game, I just want to lock in Noah Fant as my tight end start of the week. I think Drew Lock starting for the Broncos hurts every single individual on the Denver Broncos, with the exception of Noah Fant. I think he looks over his direction very often, more often than Teddy did. So I like Noah Fant there. For this game, super sweet, short to the point. Ever since that first game against the Saints, the Packers have looked really solid, with the exception of that half against the Lions. That first half, they looked a little meh. But I think the Packers, I like the Packers here. I like Green Bay -3. I would take Green Bay up to -4. I think Joe Burrow's having a good season, but I don't think that he can keep up with the Green Bay Packers. Also, Randall Cobb had a very good week last week. Popular waiver wire pickup. I think that Randall Cobb rest of season gives you serviceable performances. I think there are going to be weeks that you could start him and put him in your starting lineup. I wouldn't do it this week just because we don't know. We've seen like how many times has Marquez, Valdez, Scantling,
MVS, baby.
and how many times has MVS put up a good performance and then disappeared? The Packers are overdue for a wide receiver too. Randall Cobb might be it. Too early to tell, but I do like him. He's intriguing. If you got the space, he's probably already picked up, but if he's not, 100% pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green Bay -3, -3.5, all the way up to Green Bay -4.
Yeah, I'm going with Mo's logic. I'm going Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is just too good. Maybe next year they'll be division rivals. The way Aaron Rodgers was looking at Mike Tomlin after the game last week. But yeah, as long as Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of this team, I'm picking the Packers. Honestly, this other than the Chiefs Bills game Sunday night, this might be the best game of the weekend. Could be a lot of fun watching Burrow and Rodgers go at it. I think both offenses can score some points. Both defenses are kind of suspect at this point, especially with all the injuries the Packers have had. I think Alexander's out for a bunch of weeks now, so that's their top corner done. Could make himself a good shootout here, but like the Packers here. Aaron Rodgers too much.
Yeah, another pick I was laughed at for, despite spending literally $1 on the man, was Jamar Chase. I think is Randy Moss reincarnated. He's a stud. I have way too much stock in the Bengals that I like because of Joe Mixon as well, and Samaje Perine now. So I'm just loaded with Bengals. Not feeling great about it, but I'm gonna have the Bengals +3. This is mostly a public thing because the entire public's on.
That's how I feel too.
So, and the money percentage is actually in favor of the Bengals. It's more than 50% for the Bengals, and that percentage is like 80% for the Packers. So that's ridiculous.
I haven't put a play in for this yet, but I anticipate the line even moving slightly more in favor of the Packers. And if that's the case and it gets up to like 4, I'm going to probably hammer Bengals.
Yeah, so definitely on the Bengals here.
I like T. Higgins. My personal opinion on Jamar Chase is to sell him now. That's my personal opinion. He's gotten, how many touchdowns does he have thus far?
4.
4 touchdowns. So he's had it. T. Higgins has missed time. T. Higgins.
With Mixon going down, why would you do that? They're just going to throw it more.
Mo laughed when I paid for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Joe Mixon.
Jamar Chase. I paid
Joe Mixon. No. I mean, this is my honest opinion on Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has been fortunate to catch touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying fortunate in the way that it's like he doesn't like how many targets has he had outside of last week?
Solid amount.
What?
Outside of last week, am I thinking of the wrong person? I'm not. We're thinking about the Bengals wide receiver, right? Jamar Chase.
Yeah, from LSU, first round pick.
Yeah, super solid.
He said in the preseason, like he was having trouble catching the ball because the lines on the football was different. But that was a bunch of bullshit.
All of us, but
yeah.
I think with T. Higgins coming back, right? I definitely think that. I mean, Joe Burrow's going to look at Jamar.
That affects Tyler Boyd more.
Didn't the first week when they were all healthy, didn't he have 2 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamar, if you watch Jamar Chase in college, he's just a touchdown machine. Like that's what he does. And Joe Burrow. Yeah,
we'll see what happens. But if I was the Jamar owner, I would sell.
He's 4 weeks into his rookie NFL season after missing an entire year of college, and he's already at a top 10 or top 5 receiver this year.
He was better than Justin Jefferson at LSU that year.
Yeah.
I called my shot.
Okay.
All right. Next game, we got the Saints. I got a lot to say about the Saints at the Washington football team. The Saints are favored by -1.5. The over/under is at 44.5. All right, folks. The Saints are just like a Jekyll and Hyde team. That's like the only way I could describe them. You just don't know what you're going to get from them week to week. Like 1 week, their defense looks like a top 5 unit. And then when they're back at the Superdome, they're just going to get fucking shredded by the Giants.
By Danny freaking Dimes.
Yeah. And then some weeks, Teddy's going to ball out. And then in other weeks, I don't know. I don't know if like Lasix has like some weeks where it works like worse than other weeks, but you'll get bad Jameis, you'll get good Jameis. That aside, Sean Payton is 48-26. That's good for 65% against the spread off a loss. And they're on the road, and drilling that stat even finer, they're 25-10, 71% on the road. I like the Saints here. Really like the Saints here. I'll take the -1.5.
Oh, give me the football team. I mean, I'm not gonna go into this. Jameis Winston sucks. That's it. I mean, I said this when we were doing our test run last week. I don't think he surpass 150 yards in the game against the Giants.
He did.
Congratulations, Jameis. That's the first game that he has surpassed 150 passing yards. I think Washington football team +1.5. I like them. And I also think, not for the faint of heart, DFS, I think the Washington football team might be the cheapest defense out there. I think they're a good bargain play. Good bargain play.
Defense is awful.
Their defense is not good. They have the pieces. I know it doesn't just change all of a sudden, but also I don't like the Saints. I don't like anything to do with them. And I really don't like Jameis Winston.
I'm taking the Saints. Don't have too much rationale behind it. I trust Sean Payton. I think they'll bounce back here. Washington defense is putrid. I'm not really sure what happened to them from last year this year, but it's just awful. I think they'll probably feed Kamara 30 to 35 times. And Taysom Hill will go beast mode like he did against the Giants last week on a touchdown run. I think they'll figure it out.
That run was crazy, by the way.
Yeah, it was painful to watch that happen, just bounce off 6-7 guys. But I really have no idea what the way this game is going to go, but I'll just pick the Saints. I got more faith in just the organization.
I have on this. Where is this game?
What do you got, Zeeb?
Football team +1.5. I also don't happen their defense, but I still will always have faith in Chase Young. Heineke is an absolute stud. And the Saints just lost their best offensive player in Tony Jones. Sorry, I'm just going to bounce back from that. So, yeah, football team +1.5.
Super Camario would like to have a chat with you. I think, oh, by the way, and this is maybe an argument against my point, but I think with Tony Jones going down, I think that they're forced to use Kamara more. I don't think he got a target last game. I don't think he was targeted a single time. I don't know what the hell they're doing out in New Orleans. Eventually they'll come to their senses. This might be the game. So I like a Kamara prop bet over 3.5 receptions, over 4.5 receptions. But I'm going to stick with Washington football team.
All right, on to another game I'm not super interested in. No offense to Zeeb. The Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders. The spread right now is 5.5 in favor of the Raiders. The over-under is at 44.5. The Raiders are coming off of not the best Monday night showing. They definitely turned it around in the second half. I really like the offense that the Raiders have. Derek Carr is having his best season. He's got his best collection of weapons he's had so far, even though I'm not crazy about the running game. It's another one I don't have much rationale about. But I like Zeeb is probably going to get into. I really like Justin Fields. And for that reason, and solely for that reason, I will take the Bears in the points. Officially the starter.
Officially the starter. I don't know what the hell Matt Nagy was doing. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before, but Matt Nagy is a Neanderthal. It's part of the reason why I had Detroit -7 last week. It's just, if that's a testament to anything, it's that Matt Nagy is or
University of Delaware alum Matt Nagy.
Yeah, he should be considered a war criminal. If this was a different era, he would be tarred and feathered in City Square for how awful of a head coach he is. That being said, And especially that being said, I think that the Detroit Lions, I said that they're not that bad for an 0-4 team. They're still 0-4. I'm not necessarily a Justin Fields. Justin Fields did not look that great last week. Sorry, Z. Smash Las Vegas -4.5. I think that they're good. I think that they just went up against a better Chargers team on Monday, and I think that they'll wipe the floor with this Chicago Bears team, especially one without David Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Vegas here. No real stats or rationale. I just like Vegas at home in the Death Star. They looked good. They came back. They're a very slow starting team, having to make comebacks. But I think if this line creeps up to closer to a touchdown, I would take Chicago. But if it stays here at the 3.5 to 4.5 range, I would take Vegas. Love Derek Carr. Bears defense has good pass rush, not a very good secondary. I think they can get exploited here with Waller and Edwards and Ruggs and those boys. I think Carr could have a nice day out at the office. So give me the Raiders.
Those who don't know, I'm an OSU alum. However, with that all bias out the window, I think Justin Fields might be a top 3 talented quarterback of all time.
Love it.
I think Mormon Mahomes
Mental illness
could challenge him there.
Shout out to mental illness.
Shout out to Fox.
I think the whole thing holding back was Nagy sabotaging him, not game planning for him, and instead having the Andy Dalton game plan in, which I don't even know what would be, because I don't know Andy Dalton's doing anything good. So I think now that Nagy kind of sucked it up and named Justin Fields the starter, he'll have to game plan for him now. So I think that's going to help Justin Fields a lot. I think A-Rob is fucking toast because, first of all, he's not that good. He's always been overrated. Second of all, Justin Fields adores Darnell Mooney. So I think A-Rob is just absolutely done. I'm surprised Muhammad didn't touch on the backup running back. I'll let him say his part on that if he wants. And then Raiders, I don't know why Ethan said Waller, Edwards, Ruggs, and those boys as if Ruggs and Edwards are considered elite level receivers.
Renfro has been having a solid.
Renfro was actually better than those other two.
All I was saying was the first guys that came to my mind, and then those boys.
That sounded like you're going to elite here because you said Waller as well.
Well, I didn't want to put Renfro in there and show a little white slot wide receiver bias. So
with all that being said, I'm absolutely on the Raiders. I just Raiders are honestly like a good team, and like I think Fields will play well, but I just think the Raiders are actually a good team. So I'm on the Raiders -5.5.
And touching on those Bears running backs, Damian Williams got all the attention, all the love, all the fab, rightfully so. Right, this is not a Damian Williams is not going to be the number one guy to start. This is a look into and possibly stash Khalil Herbert. I think that.
Where'd he go to college, Mo?
No clue. Don't care. Don't care. Mecca. Don't care. I don't. The college is. I don't play fantasy college ball. I play fantasy football. Maybe that's part of the reason why my Jamar Chase take was so awful earlier.
Oh, God.
Or perceived to be awful. I'm not a big college football guy. Sticking to that Jamar Chase thing. Just keep a couple feelers out for Khalil Herbert.
Went to Kansas.
What?
He went to Kansas.
Thank you.
College football power, that is University of Kansas.
Thank you very much. Khalil Herbert.
Is Les Miles still there?
No, he got fired.
Wait, what? He got fired.
Really?
He got fired. It was in the offseason. There was some off the field little discrepancies going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Was he
in the athletic department?
He wasn't groping a woman at a bar?
No, I don't think it was groping. I think it was some benefits or some. No, it was like past allegations. I think at LSU that they covered up like rape and stuff in the football program.
Well, we don't condone that. Next topic, please.
Really fun game on paper. We got the Browns at the LA Chargers. -2.5 in favor of the Chargers. Over under 46.5 in the beautiful SoFi Stadium.
So fine.
Chargers look really good, man. Justin Herbert's the truth. I mean, despite the Chargers not having a huge fan base and like that basically being like an away game for them on Monday night, I mean, Herbert just looks great. Like I didn't expect this out of college. I'm a real big fan of their head coach. I don't know if you saw that clip on Twitter today of him like describing about like running the ball and how that benefits an offense, but I thought it was very eloquent. I like that guy, even though I'm blanking on his name on top of my head. Brandon Staley. There you go.
Brandon
I got
Staley.
it.
I like that guy.
I recovered. Yeah, give me the Chargers here. I originally had him as a pick 'em, but the line's moved up. I'll still take him as long as it's under a field goal, and then I'll take the over on OBJ and his receiving yards. Right now it's 51.5. I'll take it. Seems just kind of low to me. I'll take it.
I like the Chargers. I think that they're, like you said, Justin Herbert is the truth. Cleveland's defense does concern me a little bit. I think they will get after him. But I also think that he has Austin Eckler, some outlets, some quick outlets to help him there. And then also, obviously you have, now I'm blanking, Mike Williams and the other guy,
Keenan
Allen. So I like the Chargers here. I like Herbert. Give him to me. I'm not going to go on the points because, they're both pretty solid defenses, but I could also see this game turning into, a high scoring one. So just give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers as well. I have a little more faith in Herbert than Baker. That's what it comes down to. Baker Mayfield is allergic to throwing the ball to Odell Beckham for touchdowns for some reason. And I think Joey Bosa is going to back up his post-game statements about Derek Carr and the refs or whatever he was blabbing on about after the game last week. So just give me the Chargers.
Bootstraps Bosa.
Yeah. Licking them.
So I do think Herbert's the truth. I think Schefter was calling him a future Hoffer before that Monday night game. And I agree. I do think. I remember like 2 years before he came out of college, me and Ethan were texting about who we wanted the Giants' future quarterback to be, and I was pounding the table for Herbert.
And he would have been if he didn't come out.
Stayed in college for another year and we missed, and then we didn't have. Always. That being said, I'm going to be on Cleveland. Love being the three people in here.
Oh, brother.
Also going against the public on this one. I think that's the main reason I chose this. Because I think the Chargers are a really good team. But
so the Browns.
They are. But they really haven't passed the eye test as much as some people thought they would this year. So I think that's why the public's so heavy on them.
Yeah, I was big on the Browns going into the season. I drafted, we got a 2 QB league. I drafted Baker Mayfield as my QB2, and I had Odell Beckham just waiting for him to get back. We had also no idea at the beginning of the season that he would be missing time. It was sort of seemed like he was going to be playing, if not week 1, then week 2, and then he missed week 3. And then last week, or did he miss week 3 or did he play week 3?
I think he played.
Oh, he played week 3, and then week 4 was no.
Didn't seem like it though.
He's played 2 weeks thus far, so he played week 3.
So 3 and 4, yeah.
Yeah. And he's not looked good. So thankfully, I moved on from him. And to Big Baker. Baker's been solid, but he's just been like, it just hasn't been anything. Like Zeep said, it just doesn't pass the eye test. They just look lackluster. Doesn't excite me.
The dude does an insane amount of commercials. Just gotta say that.
You know, Hulu
Hulu
gives you live sports. Hulu gives you live sports.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah. Not sponsored.
All right, next game. We got the Giants at the Cowboys, a classic early season matchup between these two teams. Surprised this isn't the Monday night game because I feel like this is always the Monday night game or Sunday night game. The spread is -7. The over-under is at 52. All the signs are telling me to go with the Giants here. Seems like a lot of points, and the Giants have been like just covering it this year. But like I've been doing, I'm just gonna flip on myself. I'm gonna take the Cowboys. In fantasy, I'm big on the Cowboys. I love Dak. I love CeeDee Lamb. I just think in general they have a better offense than the Giants, even though the Giants' offense had a great showing last week. But I don't know. I mean, on defense, Dallas has got studs. I mean, Trevon Diggs might be the like defensive player of the year at this point. He's got a pick in every single game this year. I know they allowed a lot of points to the Panthers last week, but they got a lot of just like dudes on that defense, and they're flying around. This is an in-division game. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, see, I don't know how to feel about this. I'll be honest. So, I mean, the Giants open up the season, lose to the Broncos. Then it's a tight one on Thursday night with the Washington football team. That was a Thursday night, right? Or was that a Monday night?
Yeah.
That was Thursday night. Yeah. One of those solid Thursday nights. And then it was an okay performance against the Falcons, end up losing. And then a good performance, all things considered, against the Saints. I think that I initially had the Giants -7 on here. I'm actually going to change that. Give me Dallas here. I think Dallas is super, super solid. I think Dallas offensively, very, very good. I think defensively, last year they were awful. This year they started looking good, and people were starting to have like, could the Cowboys defense be, solid this year? I think the Cowboys defense is solid this year. And I think that I don't think it's close. I think the Dallas does win by more than a touchdown. I don't think that the Giants have the offensive weapons. Danny Dimes looks good. I'd be comfortable starting him in fantasy, right? And I also love Kadarius Toney. He's my wide receiver start of the week. If Sterling Shepard misses time or misses this week, I don't know if he's projected to play, but he looked good last week. It was his first real opportunity. They drafted him in the first round. I think if he gets the opportunities this game, I think he does well with them. So that's why he's my start of the week at the wide receiver position. But give me Dallas -7.
I have two rules. I don't bet on the Giants. I don't bet on Penn State. So I don't have a play in this game. But Joe Judge, the Giants don't get blown out really in their games. They had one last year. They got blown out by the Ravens. But they don't lose by wide margins. I think they could keep this close. I do like Dalton Schultz in this game just because it's a Cowboys tight end against the Giants. And if Jason Witten was still playing, I would say I'd like Jason Witten in this week because I don't know what it is about Cowboys tight ends against the Giants. But I'm fully Zeeb. I think you could agree, bought into DJ at this point. Andrew Thomas I don't know what they did to Andrew Thomas in the offseason, but he looked like an absolute bust last year. And I think I saw like Pro Football Focus has him the highest rated second year O lineman in the league. He's played a hell of a lot better. Pleasantly surprised. Still don't have faith in the O line as a whole, but the weapons are great. If they can give Danny time, I think they could attack outside of Trevon Diggs. Gotta contain Micah Parsons, obviously. And I think the defense showed some signs of life against the Saints. I don't think they're going to hold down Dak in that offense, but I think if they can keep it close to keep it in the mid-20s, I think they have a shot. But I'm not gonna put any skin in this game. I'm just gonna watch as a fan. Hopefully win.
Also, I have also adopted the rule of not betting on the Giants, so I don't have a play either. As probably the most noted Danny Dimes hater I can think of, I have actually bought in. Not entirely, but I do think that he can take this team somewhere, and I think he deserves a shot.
Do you
And
know where is?
I was,
He's only thrown one pick this year. He looks the part.
I compared him to I compared him to Tannehill. I think that he can have a Tannehill-like career, being surrounded. He has to be surrounded perfectly with the right complement of weapons and line. But I do think he has the talent to take the team to like an NFC Championship game. I don't know if he can win a Super Bowl, but I do think he can take us somewhere. Andrew Thomas, like you said, out of the big four of last year's draft, I honestly think right now he's probably the best one, which if I heard me say that a year ago, I thought that was insane because he looked like dog shit last year.
Yeah, he was awful last year.
So I don't know what they did. He is hurt now.
I saw that he missed the walkthrough today.
Yeah, I don't think it's serious. Hopefully not. Billy Price honestly looks good.
I mean, Bredesen looked all right.
Bredesen? No. We had someone else.
Oh, yeah, it was. They
Skura,
got some guy.
Skura's there.
Yeah, Matt Skura. Yeah,
Skura looked better than Bredesen too, so that was nice to see. Like Mo said, Kadarius Toney, that third down, run after catch was the
3rd and 18. Yeah,
that was crazy. And I was that was like a college football junkie. I knew how good Toney was, especially like he showed it when Kyle Pitts went down last year. So I know Toney's a stud. I think he fits the offense well. I think again, not the best draft pick given our needs, but so I don't think he needs a good start this week. That's kind of crazy. It's too early, but he is a stud.
If Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton are not playing, I don't see how you could avoid. I mean, who else?
Right.
The Cowboys are going to put up points.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to go to? Evan Ingram?
no, absolutely not.
Dak also like historically like owns the Giants, right?
Who?
Except for when Logan Ryan absolutely snapped his ankle in half. But
Good point.
Yeah,
but I think they'll probably have Diggs on Galladay.
that's what I said last week. I said Diggs probably a top 5 cornerback in the league. Someone said it was a very hot take. I think it was Mo, but he is.
Also, I got offered a Galladay for CeeDee Lamb straight up today in the league.
That is hilarious.
Just throwing that out there.
I mean, it's James David.
It's
JD. He's the only person.
I didn't know who had Galladay.
I did until I traded it to him.
And
I could not believe it.
Cowboys also released Jalen Smith today, which was pretty surprising.
Did he sign with the Packers already or something like that?
I think they said he's going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't Gilmore? Didn't the Patriots cut Gilmore today?
They traded him
To the Panthers.
Oh, he went
for
to
6th rounder.
Yeah.
My favorite target is Sam Darnold.
Damn.
Seeing ghosts.
All right, I say we do. Let's wrap it up with the Sunday night game.
Yeah, let's quick hitters. Just giving picks for the other 2 games we didn't hit. I have 49ers +5, and I have the Colts +7.
Arizona -5. They're also my defensive start of the week. And what is the other game? Sorry.
Colts Ravens.
Monday night.
The Monday night game, I like Baltimore. Give me Baltimore -7.
Yeah, I like San Fran. I can't wait to see Lance out there if he plays, and then give me the Ravens. Colts are garbage.
I have Cardinals and Colts.
Good stuff.
I
All
don't see how
right.
you could have San Fran. If Trey Lance is out there, Trey Lance looked awful. Trey Lance did not.
Were we watching the same game?
Yeah, I don't think Trey Lance did not look good.
Go to the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Trey Lance did not look good.
All right. We are running, folks. Thank you for bearing with us. Last game, we got the Bills. We got the Chiefs. Sunday night. Really good matchup here.
Yep.
This opened up at 4.5, apparently. I don't know if that's true, but it's at 3 right now. The over-under's at 56.5. Whole lot of points. The Chiefs are home. It's gonna be 78 degrees. These teams played last year in the regular season, and it was a great game. That was that weird Tuesday night game, I believe, if you guys remember.
Yeah, that weird flex.
Yeah. Good times. Shout out COVID. I got Chiefs -2.5 here. I mean, that's what I got them at. I know it's at 3 now, but I would take them up to like 3.5. I feel like I got them at 2.5, and that seems kind of low, like below a field goal at home. This should just be an awesome game. This is a classic Sunday night football game. Give me the Chiefs.
I like the Bills all the way here. Bills, if the line is at 3.5 now, I would be over the moon at taking them at plus 3.5. I would take them up to plus 2.5. I like Buffalo to win this game outright. I think that Josh Allen started off a little bit slow, but has looked phenomenal. Granted, one of those weeks was against the Houston Texans. But that being said, he has more weapons. I think he really likes Emmanuel Sanders. Cole Beasley is just very reliable. So that's, beneficial on that end.
Not against COVID.
Not against COVID. He can't, but I mean, he's been catching everything but COVID. So, all reliable. And, Dawson Knox, that's his first name, right? Dawson.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't know why I thought it was Dalton for a second, but Dawson Knox also looks, again, we've seen Dawson Knox has done this in previous seasons where he has, strings together a couple big games. But I think this continues. It's a season-long trend. And I like the Bills here. I like the Bills to win the game outright. I would take Bills money line, but I'll take Bills plus 3.5 right now.
I'm not going on the side. I'm going on the total. I'm going to go over, mostly because I just want to see an awesome game. Hope it's like a 35-31 just shootout. So I'm going on the total, over 57 or whatever it is. The Bills, I love the Bills, but the schedule has scared me a little bit. I mean, they lost the Steelers week 1, then they played the Dolphins, Washington, and Texans. So not a who's who of good teams. Chiefs also haven't looked good, but they're the Chiefs. So I got to believe they'll turn it around with Andy Reid. So this is a good test for the Bills. I think they played doo-doo the first 4 weeks, so this will be a good test for them. And I just hope for a good game, shootout over 57.
Mahomes is just bored. He's like throwing fucking weird underhand passes at this point.
The game against the Eagles, yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
There's not enough juice at this point for the Chiefs to get up, and this is a get up game for them. So
yeah.
One thing about Mahomes that I will say is it gets a little bit old, like the circle jerk around every single thing that he does. Like, there was a couple weeks ago, I think it was a couple weeks ago, where he threw that no look interception, and they showed like 5 times. Like, imagine if Daniel Jones had made that throw, like they'd be calling for his head. Right, but Patrick Mahomes throws a pick, and it's old. Great player, but I mean, the man, you can only jerk a man so long before there's just nothing left.
Agree with that. I'm on the Chiefs minus 2.5. No specific reason. Fading the public a little bit there because the public right now is on the Bills. I think 2.5 is pretty low if you would get it there. Also on the under, because that is a shit ton of points.
It's a lot of points.
I know that obviously very different scenarios, but the fact that like this week there's a range from 39 to 57.
Yeah, that's a little fishy.
That's crazy. So 59. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I'm not going 59. No, I was going 57.
Wait, the line's at 59 now?
57. I saw that wrong. But yeah, so like 39 to 57, like the Steelers coming in is at 39. This one's 57. That's crazy.
I just wouldn't touch the over-under on that. The thing is, like, you see 57 points and you're like, that's nuts. But like, is 32-25 like that, like crazy of an outcome?
But just probability-wise.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch the over-under.
Plus, like the Sunday night game with Bills, like, and Mahomes, like, people are gonna like slam the over until like Vegas is like very uncomfortable with where it's at to make it even. So I'm assuming it's going to keep going up, but even where it's at right now, Vegas is probably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also just taking the over because I just want to see a great game. Just high scoring.
Hell yeah.
All right, boys. I am very hungry.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up. Yeah, it's about 9:40 Eastern time, 6 o'clock Pacific. Doesn't matter what time it is.
It's a 3-hour 40 time difference.
6:40 Pacific. Thank you so much for tuning into the inaugural episode. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, make sure to leave them down in the comments. We'll probably do some sort of subscriber giveaway or something like that. Maybe we'll make some cool Fantasy 4 merch.
We're on OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans. Maybe a Zebo Zone shirt I don't know. The possibilities are endless. But
They are.
thank you so much for tuning into our inaugural episode. We'll be back next week doing the same exact thing. And hopefully we can, reflect and say that we did good. And then moving forward, we're going to be putting up on our website, thefantasy4.com. We're going to be putting polls up where you could vote on the lines in the game. And in the event that the public beats any one of the analysts here on the Fantasy Four, yes, we are analysts. At that point, we'll do some sort of punishment or some funny little on-camera thing, just to say serves you right for misleading the public, But
No, I'm not nodding my head at you, Mo. I just want to chime in and Justin Turner just tie the game, Zeeb.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it.
Oh my God.
No, that's gonna
brother. All right, fellas, time to go watch baseball. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
See you.